Top Democrat made the worst mistake of her life with this comment about the Caravan. The Democrats are working overtime to cover up their true intentions about the migrant caravan. They know if their secret gets out they are doomed. And this Democrat made the worst mistake of her life with this jaw-dropping comment about the migrant caravan. Top Democrat makes insane comparison about migrant caravan. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is one of the Democrats' rising stars. The 28-year-old self-described socialist shot to stardom when she ousted the fourth-ranking House Democrat in the 2018 primary. But since winning the election, she's continually made a fool of herself. Ocasio-Cortez claimed unemployment was low because people were working 2 jobs. Around 7 million Americans work 2 jobs. There are about 150 million Americans working right now, which means that just under 5% of Americans work 2 jobs. And in a conference call with supporters, she stated that the Democrats needed to take back all 3 chambers of Congress. When she tried to correct herself, she only made matters worse and exposed the fact she failed Civics 101. Ocasio-Cortez stated the Democrats needed to win back the 3 chambers of government: the presidency, the Senate, and the House. Of course, the presidency, Congress and the federal court are the 3 branches of government. So not only has she revealed herself to be an economic illiterate, she believes that socialism can work, but she's also completely clueless about the Constitution and American government. But those flubs were nothing compared to a tweet she sent about the migrant caravan. She compared the migrants trying to sneak into the United States illegally to the Jews trying to flee Nazi Germany's death camps. Ocasio-Cortez tweeted, "Asking to be considered a refugee applying for status isn't a crime. It wasn't for Jewish families fleeing Germany. It wasn't for targeted families fleeing Rwanda. It wasn't for communities fleeing war-torn Syria. And it isn't for those fleeing violence in Central America." Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez roasted on social media. Americans roasted Ocasio-Cortez for her appalling lack of historical knowledge and perspective. Comparing anything to the Nazis systematically murdering 6 million people because of their religion is a line no one should ever cross. Social media users mocked her ignorance. Heavy check mark Ocasio 2018. Asking to be considered a refugee applying for status isn't a crime. It wasn't for Jewish families fleeing Germany. It wasn't for targeted families fleeing Rwanda. It wasn't for communities fleeing war-torn Syria. And it isn't for those fleeing violence in Central America. Real Gerald North. You don't know U.S. history, Rep. Ocasio-Cortez. The U.S. turned away thousands of Jewish refugees in World War II, ostensibly fearing there were Nazi spies among them. E.g., in June 1939, 937 were turned away at the port of Miami. More than 1/4 of them died in the Holocaust. Heavy check mark Ocasio 2018. Asking to be considered a refugee applying for status isn't a crime. It wasn't for Jewish families fleeing Germany. It wasn't for targeted families fleeing Rwanda. It wasn't for communities fleeing war-torn Syria. And it isn't for those fleeing violence in Central America. Marblehead 1776. The U.S. had no refugee policy during the Nazi period in Germany. Sadly, Jewish refugees had to go through a long and deliberately slow immigration process. Heavy check mark Ocasio 2018. Asking to be considered a refugee applying for status isn't a crime. It wasn't for Jewish families fleeing Germany. It wasn't for targeted families fleeing Rwanda. It wasn't for communities fleeing war-torn Syria. And it isn't for those fleeing violence in Central America. Gavin 0503. Hey, imbecile, no one said applying for asylum is a crime. What is a crime is entering a country illegally and not presenting yourself at a legal port of entry. Had a Republican carried on in this manner and made factually incorrect statements that revealed they're out of their depth, poser, Saturday Night Live and every late-night talk show host would be running endless skits and holding them as a figure of ridicule. That Republican would get the Sarah Palin treatment. But since Ocasio-Cortez is a Democrat who checks all the right identity politics boxes, her gaffes will be ignored by the cultural and media elites. Ocasio-Cortez and the Democrat Party's true agenda. Ocasio-Cortez tweet makes it clear what the Democrats really want: tens of thousands of migrants flowing into the United States. Their real goal is open borders. They know it's unpopular, so they work to camouflage their true beliefs. But Ocasio-Cortez blew that up with her ignorant tweet. We will keep you up to date on any new developments in this ongoing story.